Okay, there we go. Living within the web of life on Earth. There are many levels of consciousness functioning on Earth. Higher frequency realities than what we might call consensus reality already exist. We don't need to manifest these higher realities. We need to learn to connect with them. Our consciousness tends to fluctuate between our conditioned reality and higher frequencies as we learn. I believe those of us here are able to discern when we are connected and acting from a higher frequency, and when we fall back into the conscious consensus reality. A significant part of our mindfulness practice supports us to be aware of different frequencies and learn to consciously shift our perception at will. We don't need to live in the consensus reality or solve all the problems that have been created by this level of consciousness. Connecting with Gaia's ever-changing beauty by being barefoot on the earth, or putting our feet in a stream, or listening to the songs of birds, or watching the sunset and all the stars come out, is one of the most reliable ways of making an intentional shift in our consciousness. So taking time to connect in all the ways which elevate us directly feeds the reality we wish to live in. Thich Nhat Hanh taught that a collective change in our way of thinking and seeing things is critical. Collective awakening is made of individual awakening. Our mind is the instrument with which we engage and interact with the world. It holds our despair and fears, our hopes and dreams. Our mind's way of seeing determines the decisions and actions we take in the world. It determines how we relate to those we love and how we relate to those that we oppose. And our thinking determines how we respond to crisis. And it can be said that with our mind, we create the world. And though this practice of stopping and stepping back to examine the deeply held beliefs that society has imprinted upon us can be a difficult path. and it's one that I feel like we need each other for. And yet it is our minds that are the one thing that we have the power to change, which will make all the difference. And I was reflecting on how Earth embodies the whole of evolution. And we move forward as an integral part of Gaia's living being. And living with conscious awareness within the web of life requires us to attune with this larger embodiment of evolution. We must listen to Gaia through all her diverse manifestations to be in step with her. And Leslie Temple Thurston, a spiritual teacher that I worked with for many years, saw this grand evolution as a movement up through the chakras, development within one chakra defining an epoch with its particular level of consciousness. And she taught that we are just completing the third chakra, and evolution is moving out of the power dynamics into the unconditional love manifest within the heart. And the body of her teachings prepared her students to make this transition into the heart and what she called the fourth dimensional reality. And as Winter Wortham and Linda Tucker share in the video on their work with the White Lions in South Africa, humanity is guided to move into our hearts to access the skills of interspecies communication that are made available within the frequency of unconditional love. Through their communication with the lions, they have come to believe that there can be no future human without communication with the rest of the planet. And the absolute law of intuitive interspecies communication is unconditional love connects and fear disconnects. And so many humans approach other beings and nature with fear. And much of what we call civilization has created this fear of the web of life and an us against them mentality, which reaches far into the corners of our minds and our behaviors. So catching and witnessing the myriad threads of fear-laden us versus them thinking is necessary as we make our way to embody reality of our inner being. An inner being which comes into balance within the vibration of unconditional love. Linda Tucker has seen that everything that happens to us and around us in nature is meaningful. It has become clear to her that nature is educational, inviting humans to join a higher consciousness. And this realization grew from Linda's profound experience of being surrounded by a pride of 23 lions at dusk when the Jeep she was in broke down while she was out on safari. And she and the others who were in the Jeep were rescued by an African woman who came walking barefoot into the pride of lions with the baby tied on her back. And her skill and the skill of interspecies communication is nothing new. It comes from deep indigenous knowledge systems arising from knowing that nature is family. So embodying awakened awareness on the path of healing and service to all beings requires humility. Entering unconditional love calls us out of the separation humanity has created by forgetting we are part of and able to communicate with all of life. Living from our hearts, we're capable of putting Earth first in every decision we make. So Linda and Winter pointed out that the signs of aggression and trauma seen in nature are the imposition of humanity's ailments that have been put upon the system that was created in love, reflecting back to us what humans have imposed on the web of life. And as we change our thinking and we heal ourselves and we create safe space, nature ultimately reveals the solutions that we seek. Linda and Winter share that crossing the species barrier creates an ultimate sense of communion through which nature is fundamentally experienced as pure love.